we're talking to Bonnie Wilkins at the South Dekalb Church Federal Credit Union. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
So what is the South Dekalb Church Federal Credit Union?
It is a federal credit union with 7 churches that are actually our sponsors.
What's the difference between what's the difference between a bank and a credit union?
A credit union is actually owned by its members. A bank is actually owned by the shareholders. So that's the basic concept.
And this being a federal church credit union, I guess that means it's chartered under federal law.
Exactly.
And so what do the churches have to do with it, and what are the churches involved here?
The original sponsor was Green Forest Community Baptist Church. We later brought on 5 additional churches: Abundant Life, Big Miller Grove, Green Pastures, Green Forest, New Birth, and Ray of Hope. Our most recent church that we brought on board is Beulah.
So then how many churches are involved in
7.
7 in all?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been around?
Chartered in 1996.
So how many credit union members are there?
Today we have about 2,800 members.
So what are the advantages to an ordinary person in belonging to a credit union? What do you get out of this?
Well, I think in order to understand what our members will get today, you have to understand what the goal was initially. When we were originally chartered, it was during a time when white flight was taking place in DeKalb County. All of the banks were leaving, redlining was taking place. The closest bank to us was probably downtown Decatur. So the idea was, why are we traveling so far to deposit our own monies? Why are we having to have our credit pulled in order to open basic savings accounts? Why not take a look at whether or not we have enough interest in pooling our own resources and starting our own institution? And so really that's how the credit union was started. So for our members today, they get the opportunity to understand where we came from. And now, even you coming in, you saw that there is a SunTrust to the left of us. Bank of America has come back across the street. We have 2 Wachovias right down the street from us. So in just that 12-year period of time, this whole economic explosion has taken place here in South Dekalb. So to be a part of this credit union now is incredibly important, because we were formed during a period of time when no one else really wanted to take advantage of our resources here for us in our own area.
Financial institutions take deposits from depositors and invest that money. What's the difference between where Bank of America puts its invested funds and where the credit union puts its?
Good question. The credit union really takes its funding and gives it back to the membership. So of course we make our dollars by making loans. We give back to our members better interest rates on those loans, and we give back a better rate of return on their monies that they have on deposit. All monies that's actually deposited here within the credit union is reinvested back within the credit union, back with our members. So we also have certificates of deposits that we earn a yield, so that we're actually able to bring that money back to our members. All of our monies is kept right here within the credit union for the membership. And in essence, it will go back to the community. We are governed by NCUA, which is comparable to the FDIC. It's just that within the credit union industry, the way that it was designed was to pool its resources back into the membership in which it serves.
Are there many more church-based and local credit unions here in the Atlanta area that are run by African Americans?
We have quite a few. The only difference between the other faith-based credit unions here in the Atlanta area would be that they are single sponsors. We were one of the first to have multiple denominations served as sponsorships for our credit union. So that's really what makes us unique. But there are several. We have St. Philip's is right down the street from us. Big Bethel is another one.
What was your role? How did you get here?
Well, I had the wonderful opportunity of being a member of Green Forest, and I'm still a member of Green Forest. So when the call went out as to whether or not the congregation was interested, of course I was interested. Then the call went out to anyone that was currently employed in the financial field, and I was. So I became a part of the planning committee for the credit union, and an original chartered member too, which I'm excited about that opportunity. So that's how I came here.
Where do you see this credit union and the credit union movement in this area going in the next 10 years?
10 years, yeah. The credit union industry the dynamics of the credit union industry is changing. We still fall somewhere within the range of what would be considered as a small credit union. The dynamics of a small credit union are changing at a rapid rate. It is difficult to compete. Many of the smaller credit unions are merging together, or they're actually being assumed by the larger credit unions. Because of the expense with competing with services or products, we've had quite a few credit unions to just close. So overall in the industry, in the next 10 years, we will probably continue to see more and more credit unions close because of the level of competition in the financial industry. As far as we're concerned, I see growth for South DeKalb Church Federal Credit Union. Our assets are continuing to grow. Our membership is continuing to grow. We are looking at bringing additional sponsors on board. We have plans to move from this facility to a freestanding facility over the next couple of years. Okay. And while we still have just one branch, we've still been able to participate in the shared branching network in the credit union industry, which allows our members to make deposits anywhere throughout the country. As a matter of fact, and out of the country too, we have 3 members who are out of the country who are still able to make their transactions with us via the shared branching system. So in the next 10 years, we really see growth and productivity for our credit union in spite of the overall industry.
Yeah, on the policy front, as far as state and federal regulations and laws go, is there anything in the pipeline that you really like to see happen, or maybe that you'd really like to see not happen?
I guess as far as policies, lawmakers, right now there is a regulation taking place, there's a fight taking place between the banks and the credit unions in regards to the way in which we are considered a nonprofit. The banks are saying that because there are so many credit unions now who have actually increased in size, that nonprofit line has actually been crossed. So I am hoping that through the lawmakers, the regs, that we are able to maintain our nonprofit edge that we've been able to keep so far. Otherwise, that will have a major impact on many credit unions, especially the small ones. The churches have always been a hub for the black community. From the churches, many of our leaders have come. Many issues and concerns that go on in the community have been brought before the masses in the past. It's just a historical setting for us to be able to come together with the masses and be able to discuss the issues that are very important to us as a people. Black businesses, especially small businesses, have come from that same community housed within that church. I see the community, the churches, the black businesses our ability to work together, to support the community in which we're housed, in which we serve, to be able to keep our resources within our community, or to help educate our people as to why it's important to keep our resources within the community.
What would you say to some of them who are not involved in this or a credit union of their own? What would you say to them?
Who are not involved in a credit union of their own, who might be remotely interested in starting their own credit union or even coming on board with us.
Absolutely.
I would say instead of recreating the wheel, come on board. It's a lot easier than recreating the wheel to come on board. It is an opportunity. The more that we have, the more resources we have, the more deposits we will have, the more growth opportunities we will have. Soon we really hope to move ourselves from the South Dekalb area. We have been allowed the opportunity to, through our regulators, to move out past the boundaries that were originally set for us. Which I think will help even more of the pastors as they take a look at coming on board with us. I think our name right now kind of signifies that it might be just for churches that are actually in the South DeKalb area, which is not really so. We just happen to have started with churches who are here in the South DeKalb area. This is a great opportunity for us as a people, us as a body of Christ, to be able to come together and pool our resources and to move this credit union to the next level.